Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right. I hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going good for you. Uh, as you can see, back out in the garage again. Um, we need. It has dawned on me. It has occurred to me right after I posted the video about the drive shafts, about drive shafts, measuring them and stuff like that. That I need to be a little more specific on the condition of the drive shaft, and that was something I didn't really touch on much. So I'm going to go over with you a few things you need to know about the condition of the drive shafts, what to look for, what you should be looking for, and what you shouldn't be, and stuff to just avoid. Okay. Now, um, so basically, one of the things you need to be acutely aware of is the condition of the drive shaft itself. Now, this is if you're not going with a brand new drive shaft. And there's a lot of us, we're trying to do these projects on a shoestring, myself included. Uh, and so that plays into all that. Okay. Um, basically, basically, if you're not getting a new drive shaft, then these are things you do need to, pay very close attention to. I tell you what, I'm going to get the drive shaft out of here and I'm going to put it over there and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay. Let me set the camera down. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, we're back. All right. Several things you need to take into consideration when looking at a drive shaft for your particular project. Now, this is pretty much constant regardless whatever kind of vehicle you're talking about. It could be virtually for any brand or use or type or anything. These are all very constant things. One is dents. Think of a drive shaft as like a pop can, okay? Coca-Cola can, something like that, all right? Soft drinks, if you will, okay? A soft drink can. They're pretty strong cans until, relatively speaking, until you dent the side. If you dent the side of a can, then it becomes much weaker, okay? Same goes for a drive shaft, same sort of idea, okay? So if there's a dent in the side of it, dent in the drive shaft itself, it becomes weaker. Not only that, it can become, it can have a small bend in it, and if it has a bend in it, then it can become, it really is unusable. And you'll know because when you put it in your vehicle, you'll have it'll create a lot of vibration, and it can actually destroy some parts of the drivetrain. So it's very important, you know, when you're, you know, looking for parts, for your projects, make sure the drive shaft has no dents. Um, Another thing is rust. Rust can be a very significant problem. If you have rust on there, especially if the rust pitting gets too bad, it can severely, damage the exterior of the drive shaft. Okay, you got to remember this is just a metal tube. That's all it is. It's a very simple device, and if it gets that tube gets damaged, then you've had it. It's done for. Now this particular end up here, we have some rust up here, right in this area. This is just surface rust. This is nothing to worry about. Honestly, if you get one of these and it's like covered with oil or grease or something like that, you're actually better off because you can just clean it up and clean it all off, and you're good to go. So that's something to keep in mind too. Now, if you're like me and you're going to take one and have it shortened, at a drive shaft shop, then what you're going to be looking at is that the drive shaft is going to be, they're going to cut it open. They're usually going to like cut the weld here on one end or the other. Some, maybe even both, depends on how they like to do it. And they're going to cut off all this weld. They're going to have just the yoke part here, okay? And then they're probably going to like take this off, If you take it in there with it, they're going to take that off. And then they're going to cut that, they're going to, once they get this off, they're going to, measure it, and they're going to measure it, multiple times to make sure they've got it correct. And then they'll cut it off, and they'll cut it where they need to. They'll weld this back on. But if you notice, like here and down there, that the caps, these caps, are both facing up. They're in phase with each other, okay? Now, if you take it to somebody to do this and these aren't in phase, guess what? You're going to have a whole lot of problems. Now, your better drive shaft shops, your better places where they'll do this sort of work, they will keep that in mind, and they will not let that sort of thing happen or slide by. Okay. Now, I mentioned about the weights. These are balance weights. Okay, just like getting the wheels balanced on your car. Same kind of concept, same kind of idea. They'll put weights on there to get the balance right. Okay. Now, can you shorten a drive shaft or lengthen a drive shaft yourself? Yes, you can. But I don't recommend it, because there can be a lot of harmonics at play in one of these. And you can wind up damaging some very expensive parts on your vehicle. Okay. So, if you've got the money to burn, and you want to get it done right then, go ahead and shorten it yourself. But if you don't, if you're willing to wait a day or two or longer and get the drive shaft shortened by a shop professionally, then I would do that instead. Okay. But also, I mentioned rust. Pay close attention. When you are looking at a drive shaft somewhere, pay close attention. Be sure to maybe move the drive shaft around a little bit. See if you hear anything rattling or moving around inside. I was at one salvage yard once and picked up a drive shaft, and you could hear the rust falling from one end to the other. So moisture had gotten inside of it, rusted some of it inside. Now, how much? Well, there was enough in there, enough rust to cause all of that falling back and forth in there. So there you go. Of course, you want to measure from exactly the same places from one drive shaft to the next. Okay. And another little tidbit. I don't know if we can see it up here on this one. Got a part number, casting number maybe. But, oh yeah, right here's what I wanted to show you. It says Detroit. This is definitely a Mopar drive shaft. Detroit was Mopar's, Chrysler's manufacturer that manufactured their yokes, U-joints. This U-joint is probably a Detroit drive U-joint. They manufactured a lot of stuff like that. And that was their in-house brand. Okay, that was their that was a Chrysler owned brand. All right, so okay. Yeah, dents, bends, rust, basically any damage to a drive shaft is not really a good thing. Now, one thing, however, if you do run across a drive shaft that is got some of this damage to it, but it has the yokes you need for your project, you can probably just cut the drive shaft out of it, cut the yokes off and leave, and then take the yokes to a Driveshaft shop and say, can you make me a new Driveshaft using these yokes? Some of these stuff is not being reproduced anymore. Like some of these yokes are not being reproduced anymore. Or if they are, they're very hard to get, or they can be very expensive. So just something to remember, when you're, you see something, oh yeah, that thing's junk, look at it, it's bent or it's twisted or whatever. That is just something to keep in mind. Now, so I hope that was very helpful for you. But I'm going to also do a little bit of work on the $50 318, just making another bracket for one of the accessories, an accessory bracket for the whole front drive setup. And I may even put the belt on it today. So let me get started here. What I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to take a bracket and go from there to there like that. Yeah, so I'm probably going to go from this bolt right here to probably down to this bolt. I guess I could go over to this one. I might do that too. But let's see. Oh, wait a minute. There's no bolt. There's nothing, there's no threads there for that bolt to get into. So, okay. Or I may just go over here to this one. Probably if I do like that, I'll probably have to put some sort of hoop right here because there's a pipe that comes up and comes through here. Matter of fact, right there is the pipe. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong way. Yeah. See, right there's the bolt it's supposed to go on. So see, like that. Yeah. I'll probably go into that bolt hole right there. So, all right. Let's see. Let me get a couple of wrenches and get this bolt out. And I'm going to get this bolt out, and then I'll get started. So, all right, here we go. Okay, y'all. All right, I've got the bolts out. I actually took this one out and this one, and I kind of changed my mind. Okay, so I'm going to do it right here. Okay, so this is looking pretty good right here, actually. Of course, I'm going to have to do a little work, dress up the corners and everything, but I think this is going to be pretty straightforward. I just need to have a little support between here and here, okay? These two areas. Now, originally on the Magnums, this would mount, the Magnum engines had this mounted directly to the cylinder head. This is mounted to the cylinder head with one bolt. But one, maybe two bolts. Yeah, no, one bolt. Okay, I'm sorry, one bolt. So now I made this bracket here. Okay, you can see a little more of it right there. There's more of it right there to see. It just goes down, bolts, attaches to two of the timing covers. So there's 3 bolts that holds it there, and I was wanting to make this to give it a little extra support so that there's no issues with, this thing moving and vibrating and jostling around. So anyway, okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to deburr these holes, and I'm going to take these corners, I'm going to cut these corners off on this and round them off, and I'm going to take the grinder and just trim up these edges here so it makes them nicer. Okay, so all right, and make all of that nicer so that it's not, you know, when I'm working with it or working around it, I'm not cutting my hands off, you know, cutting my hands up. That's pretty important, actually. So now I want to point out something about fabricating stuff like this. Let me illustrate something to you. Okay, I'm working here in the garage. Yeah, I've got a lot of cool stuff in here, but a lot of this stuff, if you look around, I don't have like a drill press. I don't have you know, a belt sander. You know, I don't have like, you know, I don't have a mill or a lathe or any of that sort of stuff. I've just got, you know, some tools. I got some equipment, and what I do is I come up with ways how to use that equipment or those tools to do what I need to do. So that's what I do, and it's, now some people will say, "Oh no, you got to have this, and this in order to do fabrication work." Well, no, you don't really. I mean, hell, if you want to, you can get out here with a hacksaw and do it. It'd take you forever, but you can do it with a hacksaw if you want to. So, just something to keep in mind, you know, because there's always going to be people, they're going to tell you this or tell you that. They're going to tell you a bunch of crap all the time, you know, to discourage you. I think there's a lot of people that tell you, "Oh yeah, you got to have that, you got to have that, you got to have this piece of equipment and all of this sort of stuff." But they probably tell you that because, you know, using anything else to them is just chaotic or barbaric or whatever. I mean, honestly, to me, if you got a good, you know, angle grinder, you got a good, you can do quite a bit with a good angle grinder. You got a good, decent welder. You got a good, you got a really good drill and some good drill bits, and whether cordless or corded. And that's another thing. A lot of people tell you, "Oh, you got to have a cordless. You just can't work with a corded anymore, you know." Well, that's garbage too. You can still work with cords. I still do. Is it a little more difficult? Yeah. You know, it's not easy. Not as easy. But you know what? The corded equipment, you don't have to worry about a battery running down, which is kind of nice, really. So, something to think about when you're so. All right. What I'm going to do, these corners here, I'm just going to cut off the corners on both ends, and then I'm going to do a little grind, and I'm going to put the flap wheel on, do a little grinding, and just make it kind of nice. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. And let's, a little hearing protection, very essential. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, if you wanted to, you could grind off those corners like that if you wanted to do that, if that's easier for you. It just depends on how you want to do it. There's, you know, a bunch of different ways to do it. All of them work pretty good. Alright. Now take this son of a gun off. Put the flap wheel on. Alright, let's get busy. Okay, almost finished with this bracket here. Okay, so as you can see, we've got rounded edges and corners there, so not a real sharp thing. So let me get the camera over here to the engine question. All right, now I need to do some bending on this bracket. So, but now I made the holes that I made larger. I made them a little bit larger than what I need, but that's okay. So this needs to go kind of like in a S kind of thing, kind of shape. So I'm going to do myself a little favor. And I'm going to put front, or F, on here. Just a little marker. Sharpie. Very handy. Okay. That will help me to determine which way things need to be on this bracket. So, alright. Now remember, one end is a little taller than the other. So, alright, there we go. Here we are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this just a little bit. Give it a little bend. Just like that. I'm going to do the same for the other end, but it's going to be just the opposite. That a way to give it that kind of a S kind of shape there. Oh, I was talking about just some things you needed to do fabrication work. If you haven't noticed already, the vise is like just very instrumental. Okay. Of course, a little creativity, a little imagination doesn't hurt either. Hand tools, pretty nice too. And of course, you don't have to buy none of this stuff brand new. You know, you can. But, you know, you can also, if you pay attention, you can buy some of this stuff used too. So, you know, that thing there, this is like getting on probably close to 10 years old. So, it just shows you, you know. But, of course, take care of your equipment too. You know, I don't leave none of this like laying out in the rain or nothing like that. So, it's just really important. Alright, so let's go over here and look at this again. Check this out. That is like almost ideal right there. That is like really, really nice. Okay, this is a simple little bracket though, okay? This is not very complex. And I'll be honest with you, that's the way I like it. I try not to make anything very, very intricate or complex, because when it gets really intricate or complex, it takes longer, it takes more time. Fabrication is one of those things you need to have patience. If you don't have patience, it's going to take a lot longer. And what I mean by that is, if you're not patient with what you're doing, you'll pay for it, because you'll wind up with parts that don't fit, and you'll like redo them 2 or 3 times, and you'll just lose your temper and your patience and everything, and you'll be like, no, but screw this, I'm out of here. So anyway, all right. So anyway, this is looking nice, looking very nice. Now I just need to set that nut down right there. Where's that bracket, that bolt? Okay, there it is. So here we go. Maybe. Okay. All right. I need to enlarge this hole just a wee bit. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. So, all right. Be back in a minute. Okay, y'all. We're back. I did made the hole a little bit larger on that bracket. And go ahead and get this son of a gun put on here. Now, I want to go ahead and address something real quick, and that is, you folks have done something. You have boosted, you have subscribed to the channel, and I am significantly appreciative of that. and it has pushed the channel up to over 580 subscribers now, which to me is just insane. I'm just like kind of over the moon about all of this, man. It is just amazing to me. I'm gonna have to set the camera down. So be right. Let me flip the camera around here. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, you all have subscribed and made the channel go over to 580 subscribers, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, I know I am putting out the videos. I'm coming up with the ideas and the thought and everything. And, but, you know, you all are watching and you're subscribing and you're sharing and you're telling your friends and everything like that, which, again, I'm hugely appreciative of all of that. And, really, really like that. Thank you. Really, seriously. I mean that. So, get a wrench here and tighten that up. Yeah, anytime you're fabricating, if you can keep it simple and just direct and easier, it's just going to take you less time to do it and less time to get everything ironed out and finished. I got to get there's one bolt there. Because of this bracket now, I need a little bit longer bolt. So this bolt here, let me flip it. This bolt here, I got to get it a little bit longer, but that's not a big deal. So, belt. Where did I see the belt? I see the belt. The belt's right there. So, maybe I'll see if the belt will work or fit or go on. So, all right. Now, I am not a master fabricator by no stretch of the imagination, okay? So, you know, I'm telling you stuff that I do when I'm fabricating, and maybe you can use some of this information to help you too, okay? That's basically it in a nutshell. Now, I do want to address a question by some. There's been a couple of times, 2 or 3 times this question has come up from some of y'all. Probably actually more than that. Question has come up as to why not film everything, every little detail. Well, here's why. For one, I'm packing my videos with quite a bit of information. Okay? That's just going to have to sit right there for right now. So yeah, my videos are getting packed with quite a lot of information. And some of these videos are like pretty long, actually, in the scheme of things. So yeah, some of these videos are up over 30 minutes long. So, which, while not horrendous, it's not necessarily the best thing in the world, because some of y'all just don't watch after like, if I can get some of y'all to watch past 5 minutes, I'm doing pretty good. Because some of y'all barely watch past 2 or 3. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is looking pretty good. So, yeah, I don't film every little thing I'm doing, because it's just, the realities is that it takes so much time to do all of this, and I have only so much time to make the video and then upload it and put it out there. So you know, some of y'all are like, it don't matter, you know, and you know it is. Yeah, that kind of does, because most of y'all ain't watching past, you know, 2 or 3, 4 minute mark. Like I said, if I can get y'all to watch past the 5 minute mark, oh man, I'm doing something really awesome. But, you know, this channel is going to be about, you know, always going to be about inspiring you all to get out there in your garage and work on your own stuff. Oh, that's metric. Oh, that's disappointing. So I'll go get a metric wrench or socket and get on that. Be right back. Okay, little disappointing. My belt's a little too short. So, okay. Kind of knew that maybe this might be a problem going into this. So, but it is what it is. All right, I pulled the tensioner up, and it just wasn't long enough. The belt's just not long enough. So I'm gonna go to the parts store, get another belt, a little bit longer, and I think this is going to work. This is really, really like, oh, this is really nice. Okay, all right. So anyway, I'm just gonna leave it on there just like that. So I really, really thank you all for watching and for subscribing and sharing and liking the videos and everything like that. I really, really, really thank you for that. I'll keep cranking these videos out and making them. And hopefully you all keep on watching. Okay? So if you have any other questions about this or any other videos, you know what to do. Post them down below. Okay? And like I was saying, why I don't film absolutely every little detail about every little video is because it takes forever to make the videos. Okay? And not only that, it takes forever to get the videos uploaded. I live in a rural area here in eastern Tennessee where we have Model T internet. Basically, you can have internet here any way you want. You just can't have it fast. Okay? Just so long as it's slow. Yeah, Model T internet. Have it any way you want. As long as it's slow. And it is. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Not a fun deal. But anyway, alright. So, I hope you found this video interesting and helpful. So, thank you very much for watching. God bless and have a great one. And let's keep going.